National Geographic Kids. Titanic. Shipwrecks and sunken treasure. Ever dreamed of exploring the ocean for a shipwreck? Imagine how exciting it would be to discover a hidden treasure. Think that kind of thing only happens in the movies? Think again. In 1985, Robert Ballard led a team that discovered a sunken ship called RMS Titanic. Illustration of Titanic shipwreck, 1985. Other people have found shipwrecks. But Titanic is special. It's one of the most famous ships of all time. The whole world was excited about Ballard's discovery. Robert Ballard and his crew celebrate on board their research ship, the Nore, after they first spotted wreckage from Titanic in 1985. In his own words, "My team had been watching the ocean floor with an underwater camera for days and all we'd seen was mud. Late one evening, our camera suddenly passed over a ship's boiler, and at that moment, we knew we'd found it." Robert Ballard. The Wonder Ship. What made Titanic so special? In 1912, it was the biggest ship ever built. That's why some people called it the Wonder Ship. First-class bedroom. Ship's gym. First-class cafe. Grand staircase. Other people called it a floating palace. Titanic had every possible luxury fine wood paneling, crystal and gold light fixtures, and a grand staircase with a skylight above it. First-class passengers ate fancy meals and enjoyed the ship's gym and swimming pool. Titanic terms luxury, something that offers pleasure or comfort, but isn't necessary, often difficult or expensive to get. Titanic terms BOW, the front end of a ship. Stern, the back end of a ship. Hull, the lowest part of a ship, partly covered with water. Titanic had 9 decks, or levels, with separate areas for first class, second class, and third class passenger. In her own words, "My pretty little cabin with its electric heater and pink curtains delighted me. Its beautiful lace quilt, and pink cushions, and photographs all around it all looked so homey." First-class passenger Lady Duff Gordon. Smokestack. Wireless room. Crow's nest. Gym. Stern. Pool. Bridge. Grand staircase. Second-class cabin. First-class dining room. Third-class cabin. Hull. Boiler room. Bow. 10 Cool things about Titanic. 1. Titanic was almost as long as 3 football fields. 2. Including the 4 smokestacks, the ship was as tall as a 17-story building. 3. Titanic's engines used more than 800 tons of coal each day. The ship's top speed was 24 knots, 27 miles an hour. 4. Titanic was one of the first ships to have a telephone system and electric lights in all the rooms. 5. The ship had 4 elevators, a heated swimming pool, a gym, 2 libraries, and 2 barber shops. 6. Each day, the passengers and crew used 14,000 gallons of drinking water. 7. Smoke and steam made by Titanic's boilers escaped through 3 stacks. Builders added a 4th stack because they thought it made the ship look better. 8. Titanic could carry 3,547 passengers and crew. About 2,200 people traveled on its first voyage. 9. Some passengers paid about $99,000 in today's money to travel aboard Titanic. 10. To feed the passengers and crew, Titanic had 86,000 pounds of meat, 40,000 eggs, 40 tons of potatoes, 7,000 heads of lettuce, 3,500 pounds of onions, 36,000 apples, and 1,000 loaves of bread on board. Building Titanic. Titanic being built in Ireland, 1910. Titanic terms. tragic, sad, dreadful, disastrous. Titanic's tragic story began in 1907. That's when J. Bruce Ismay of the British shipping company White Star Line and William J. Peary of Harland and Wolff shipyards decided to build 3 huge ships. One of those ships was Titanic. In 1909, Thomas Andrews began work on Titanic in Belfast, Ireland. The ship was finished on March 31, 1912. In early April, Titanic arrived in Southampton, England. Then a 900-person crew took a week to prepare for the ship's first voyage. J. Bruce Ismay, Chairman, White Star Line. Lord William J. Peary, Chairman, Harland and Wolff. Thomas Andrews, Managing Director, Harland and Wolff. Bon voyage. Colonel John Jacob Astor, 4, real estate millionaire from New York. Benjamin Guggenheim, who made his fortune in the mining business. Isidor Straus, owner of Macy's department store. When Titanic left England on April 10, 1912, it had an impressive list of passengers. White Star Ismay and Titanic Builder Line's chairman, J. Bruce Thomas Andrews, were on board. So were some of the richest people in the world. The ship also carried many middle-class passengers and poor immigrants who hoped for a better life in America. Titanic terms immigrants, people who leave one country to settle in another country. For the first few days of the trip, passengers felt like they were on vacation. They spent their time strolling around the deck, playing cards, and enjoying the ship's fine food and other luxuries. But all that changed on Sunday, April 14, 1912. That's when Titanic entered an area of the North Atlantic Ocean known as Iceberg Alley. Passengers strolling the deck of Titanic. Weird but true. Most of an iceberg's bulk is located below the ocean's surface. That makes it hard for sailors to know how big the icy chunk really is.